Hey guys, welcome back. All right, Pisceans, let's go ahead and take a little peek. What have we got? The Emperor. Very nice way to begin. Somebody taking charge of a situation. He looks fairly troubled, admittedly, but he is looking at the wheel of maybe life, the wheel, and saying, things that need to happen now so that we can turn things around, make things better. This is a planner. This is somebody who has better worldview. They have intentions. They want to see things improve. We have a 9 of Cups. They also care about other people's happiness, their own as well. But I think I kind of think we have a very serious individual, perhaps, possibly an Aries, and they have perhaps come to a conclusion that there's an energy of, God, this is my happiness. Now, there's Pisces, right? With the 9 of Cups, there's our water energy. Pisces could be their oasis in a desert. And I'm thinking that their world, this could be somebody who works in a high level of like stress. This could be somebody who has big decisions to make. This could be somebody who tries really hard to do a good job. And I think for themselves, what they want is the serenity and the beauty and the joy that they could have with Pisces. I think Pisces would be this huge source of, like I said, an oasis in the desert. I think Pisces represents somebody that would really lift their spirits and help them continue to operate in possibly a very strenuous environment. Queen of Swords. Pisces has a way of getting to the heart of the matter, speaking truth to them, speaking things that are straightforward. Pisces also is, you notice how we have the third eye really open here. Pisces has a way of cutting through nonsense, BS, and getting to quick solutions, quick truths. No wonder they like Pisces. This is like, Pisces could be their confidant. Pisces could be someone that they have learned to trust and respect. 10 of Swords sideways, and Pisces has told them point blank some truth that they are weighing carefully. Pisces either told them point blank, it's, if something is bothering you, if you are operating in a way that is not correct, or it's totally sapping your strength or making you miserable, maybe that's the indicator that this is not okay, this is not right, and maybe you should stop doing X, Y, or Z. Look, right now, my impression, and I'll just say it, is that this could be a situation where this is like, Pisces is the right-hand person to the CEO of the company, the boss or something. And admittedly, every time they are around Pisces or talk to Pisces, I mean, I think that they look forward to Pisces like the bright spot, maybe the only bright spot in their day or their life. But I also think Pisces has become like a source of, the royal vizier, the counsel that Pisces maybe provides to them, which is straight talk. It's the, well, if something's not going well, why don't you stop it then? If the decision is, maybe you're making it too hard, maybe you're trying to create harmony where there isn't any. Now, this could have also been plain and simple. Pisces might have told this emperor, because sometimes the emperor is a married person. The queen and kings can be married as well, but we definitely see 2 different levels of responsibilities. So it could be that this particular, maybe masculine, is in a marriage or a high level commitment. And it could be that Pisces told them point blank, if the only bright spot in your life is talking to me, then doesn't that indicate that maybe you're in the wrong relationship? And they may have just said it, just not saying, well, then pick me, but just telling the person, regurgitating what you just told me is, I'm your only bright spot. So what are you doing in a relationship where that is not your bright spot, but rather I am? Don't you think it's time that you figure out why you haven't ended something that isn't making you happy? Now, by virtue of just putting it out there so bluntly, it also says the part that's unspoken, which is, if I'm your happiness, what the heck are you not doing? Or what are you doing not offering me your empire? Like, I don't think Pisces is saying that part of it, because part of it's out loud, part of it's silent with this card being sideways. But I definitely think Pisces has conveyed that and also left another component of that sentence hanging in the air unspoken because it doesn't need to be. Four of Cups in the reverse. Pisces basically said, you don't need to be miserable. You haven't put a stop to what's making you miserable. You haven't exited a contract and chosen a better contract for yourself. You haven't done the thing that you should, even though you're an amazing emperor. If you're not happy, then you need to put an end to the thing that's not making you happy. Or more importantly, if I am the bright spot for you, then maybe that's where you should be putting your energy. I just think Pisces has said it in a very straightforward but tactful way that lays it out very plainly. You don't need to suffer, Emperor. If you are, it is of your own doing because you haven't chosen the path that you truly want, meaning you haven't let go of the path that you don't want. Two of Swords. And I think that's about it. I think Pisces is like, and that's all I can say. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to become this commiserating, like, okay, come tell me again why you think you should stay someplace else when, and how much you like me, but you can't be with me. I think Pisces already like laid it out in the most subtle, classy, but nail on the head kind of way. And I don't think Pisces is willing to be anybody's like dumping grounds for their woes and sorrows. I think Pisces also does respect the emperor, but they're basically telling the emperor, so get up and make the changes that you need to. You're an emperor. I know you can do it, but they're not saying it like that. Pisces is done with this dialogue though. In fact, Pisces might be turning around and walking in a different direction and fully like paying more attention to their own life. This conversation may have only recently happened. And now it'll be a few days before Pisces and this character interact again, because Pisces might be headed to the coast, or they're taking a vacation, or they're just having the weekend off. They're sipping their tea. Maybe somebody's having some miso soup right now, something where you drink it in a nice bowl. And Pisces is not upset. In fact, if anything, they're feeling like, you know what, I made the right decision. I said what I needed to. I was warm. With the Ten of Cups, there is also, I think that this Pisces is doing two things. They are both surrendering and saying, I can basically honestly admit to myself, if I would like to have this amazing emperor as my Ten of Cups, I could see that working for us. But if they don't make changes that would permit that to happen, I do know that I will meet someone to have that with. It's almost like Pisces' heart is really open to what is in their greatest and highest good, while still recognizing that they've essentially laid out the raw truth, again, in kind of a subtle and yet pointed way. I think a conversation finally got to the point where Pisces was able to say something that maybe did have that double entendre. If I'm the bright spot in your life, then maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe you should pursue the bright spot. Maybe Emperor, if something is not great for you, but you say, I am great, then maybe that's your indicator that there's a direction you should be heading. Meaning me, meaning Pisces. And I think Pisces is like, you know what? I said it. I don't need to say anything more than that. I laid it out. I acknowledged it to myself. I acknowledged it to them. We said a lot of things that we didn't exactly spell out in perfect English or whatever language we speak, but we both know the context. And it was, we have revealed emotions, and that there's basically like an ultimatum. If you know you want me, then you need to get off your duff and come get me, do the thing you need to do to get me. I'm glad I let them know it. Now, whatever they do, I can be at peace with, because if they don't come toward me, if they don't make changes in their life to come toward me, that's okay. I'll go in a different route, but I know I'll have a really happy outcome. Ace of Wands. I really feel like there's all of this, like, was this our goodbye? Did we finally get to the point of subtly saying things, which is like, you can't have me unless you are making significant changes in your life, Emperor, to have me in your life. So this can be goodbye, or this can be the start of us acknowledging we really want each other and we're reaching out and we're going to make those changes. There was a lot riding on this very subtle conversation where the truth of emotions have been laid out. Ooh, Seven of Swords. It's also been laid out. There can be no subterfuge. Nobody can hide from this anymore. It's been identified. If there was any, like, maybe we can just keep floating along, pretending that we don't feel passionate about each other. We've crossed that bridge. Again, gracefully enough that it's not going to be a problem if no action is taken. It's all right. We can continue to interact with each other. We both know what the situation is. There's no hurt feelings, no anger if nothing else changes. But this is so subtle, and yet it's so much like the mask has been taken off. Everything that needed to be said, every pointed message that needed to be conveyed has been conveyed. And so there's no more hiding anything. It's raw, it's out there, but in such a respectful and delicate way that we don't have to make it so awkward that we can never speak again if nothing changes. We have the Death card. Something's changing. I just don't know what it is. Is the change going to be that now these two are actually gravitating toward each other? The Hermit. Or is the change going to be that one or the other stays away and it's like, I have to withdraw completely because we did reach that point of, this could be Pisces now withdraws and says, I've laid out everything that I needed to. We've reached a point where it's basically you make a decision to come toward me or you really can't have me in your world anymore. And Pisces might intentionally be withdrawing from this person. The reason I'm going to say it would be Pisces, just because we have the water energy of Scorpio here for the Death card. And I'm just saying in the water theme here, Pisces may withdraw from the Emperor intentionally so the Emperor can get a taste of their life without a Pisces in it, because they can't really keep saying, Pisces, you're my bright spot in my life. But then somehow they're not building with Pisces. We've reached the point where decisions have to be made. And Pisces is like, remember, I make decisions for me too. Seven of Cups. There's a lot of other fish in the sea. If this Emperor says that I'm so great, but they take zero action toward me, I've just gently let them know, well, that needs to change. Otherwise, don't tell me things like that. So, and please know I'll move on and I'll meet another lover. Pisces is not putting themselves on, sitting there twiddling their thumbs going, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to reach out to me? I'm going to play this game where I hide out from them and then see if they come to find me. Pisces might be withdrawing after this conversation, and they might actually be setting up their dating profile and starting to say, maybe I'll wait 7 days until I'm actually ready, but I might start genuinely looking to date because I do want my 10 of Cups. Dealing with this Emperor made me recognize that. I would like to have companionship, partnership, somebody who tells me that I'm the bright spot in their life and they're trying to build with me, that they help me recognize I do want that. We've got the Princess of Swords. Look, I think that keep feeling like this is like all over this weekend, like this Emperor is like lost in deep thought, not necessarily spying, but like churning over and over and over Pisces words, those direct words, those straightforward words. Like, it is true. It's time to make decisions. Three of Swords. I don't know. It could be like, man, I'm going to miss Pisces if Pisces is gone, if I'm not going to make any changes in my life. And that is essentially what Pisces told me point blank. You make a change then to come toward me, or it's about time that we move apart, or we don't talk about this again. Two of Wands. Yeah, the moment of decision is here. They seem to be like really heavily thinking about all this. Oh my God. And then the Five of Wands sideways. I'm not digging it. The fact that they don't just know immediately where they're headed. They're evaluating, thinking, trying to determine. Five of Cups. They may be saying, if I gravitate toward and really openly pursue Pisces, it could hurt somebody else's feelings. And that is possible. Five of Swords, that could make somebody mad and hurt their feelings. It's not Pisces they're worried about, it's somebody else that they're worried about hurting the feelings of if they were to genuinely embrace and fully make it known. The Six of Wands, make it known that they're going toward Pisces. And at the same time, it looks like they're saying, well, that would still make me the happiest. Six of Wands is about, but I want to be happy. I deserve to be happy. So even if I make somebody else unhappy, I mean, an emperor is usually pretty honest. And not every decision that an emperor makes is going to make everyone pleased. I almost think that this is somebody who's saying, I'm realizing that if I don't do what is right for me because I'm afraid of ticking off somebody else, I don't see how that's me being an emperor. That's not me being honest. That's not me. I know full well somebody's going to cry foul, be upset, and be sad, say that I broke their heart, but mostly they might just be mad that I'm not doing what they want anymore. And as long as I do what they want, then they'll be content. But that wouldn't be me being an emperor. So I think that they're thinking about stuff full circle. Do we have a final message here just for Pisces? We have got the Empress energy upright. And this is probably why Pisces has handled it this way. There's grace in the way Pisces has said what they needed to, but there's also expectation. You cannot, we reached a point where if you're going to acknowledge Emperor, that I'm the bright spot in your life, then I'm going to acknowledge that that's terrific. That would mean that you should be pursuing the bright spot in your life. And if you're not going to, then keep that to yourself. And I will move on and I will go find somebody in my life because you give me 100% of you because I'm an Empress. I don't tolerate less than that. Or if we can't get into that murky world where, it's like, oh, you're attracted to me and you kind of telling me, and we're kind of starting to play games. We're kind of starting to work in a gray world where you're not single or you're not committing to me, but there's this attraction. No, this is our Pisces totally saying, again, gracefully, but bluntly, here's the parameters. And I don't think for a moment that Emperor was like trying to see, like, I wonder if Pisces will let me try to get with them even when I shouldn't. I don't think it's like that. I think that all this was like, maybe it was even a surprise that this came to the surface between them, and for both of them, a dialogue kind of became more real, more serious. And it's like, okay, wow, I guess we just crossed a bridge that we've needed to cross for a while. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.